Hey, good morning, everybody. Today is, I believe, Monday, August 13th, and it is the first day of the 6th week of the journey. I thank all of you who have been so supportive and following me along the way. Um, Today is something of a, I guess, monumental day for me. Chicago was a big deal for me to get there because I'd never been there. But, you look on a map and you see, where I am outside of Harrisburg in York, Pennsylvania, up to Chicago. It's a pretty big deal. Now, granted, I didn't walk from Chicago to St. Louis, but I'm going to be crossing the Mississippi River today. And just to think that I walked, as far across the Mississippi is pretty insane. And it leads to some apprehension, too, quite frankly. But I'll talk about that later. Anyway, I usually do a recap in the morning of the night before, but there really wasn't a lot to tell. It was just some relaxation and getting prepped for today. I've got a lot of things I got to do. There's like a business aspect to this, and yet it's hard to find time, believe it or not. I talk to so many people. So Sunday was just to drive down from, the Chicago area. I was in Indiana, is where the hotel was, but down towards St. Louis. I'm still an hour outside of St. Louis. I've got to stop at Walmart. I stopped there yesterday, but the thing I picked up was the wrong thing. So I'll be down there this morning. I did reach out to a news station, kind of let them know maybe something will come of it. I tried to let the St. Louis Dispatch know, but they don't open up. There's a phone number. They don't open up until 8:30 Central Time, which is 9:30 Eastern Time. So if anybody's out there and wants to kind of give them a phone call, it might be something that's worthwhile. Because I'm trying to get a hold of. I want this to be more than just me walking across the country. I'm trying to, as you guys have seen, if you follow me, you'll see all the videos I try to share with people, make it educational, whether it's reciting the Gettysburg Address to sharing moments with people from Honor Flight Chicago to CASA Cade County to just exposing you all the different things that are out there. But one of the things I really would like to do today is, Ferguson was a place of civil unrest a few years ago with the killing of Michael Brown. And I'd like to get down to that area and just kind of talk to some people who have who lived through it and kind of share what they sensed, just to get some feel for the community and things like that. I'll be walking across the Mississippi. I got to see what footbridge. I think the bridge closest to the arch is not a footbridge, so I don't know what kind of view I'll have of the arch. And I'm certainly going to live stream as we go across the Mississippi, take you on that journey with me. It's kind of a pretty cool thing to walk across the Mississippi. Anyway, so today I think I've got a place set up in St. Louis with Mary. I got to reach out to her today. She knew Max from back in Bucyrus, Ohio, so the folks along the journey that have become journey friends are kind of reaching out on my behalf and spreading the word about the message I'm trying to send them about point the thumb, not the finger. If anybody is new, I'll repeat it. I do it a lot, but I hope you guys don't get mad at me for it if you've been with me the whole journey. But a lot of people, think this journey is about me walking, and that's not it at all. The journey started about a message I'm trying to send to I'd like to send to my children, as well as to myself, that I kind of gave up a little bit on people. And my first goal was to come back home after this trip and be able to tell my kids Dad was wrong. There really are a lot of good people out there. But I raised my kids with a couple of simple mantras. One of them is point the thumb, not the finger. Our whole society is so busy pointing the finger and blaming somebody for something, we're not really taking action. We're just kind of calling attention to whatever the issue is. And so the simplest way to give you an example of that is in my home. I have two children that are with me most of the time. I have Grace as well. But so my son runs in the room and says, "Dad, Kira hit me." The old me might have said, "Kira, get in here. Why'd you hit him?" And then, "Well, he didn't, I didn't, she did, blah, blah, blah," and you get going on and on. So when I look at my son and say, "Did you point the thumb?" He pauses for a moment and says, "Well, I did throw the remote with the video game and it hit her in the leg. So all right, get out of here now." Because he understands that she didn't just hit him randomly. She just walked down the street and socked him. That there was some truth to it and things like that. So yeah, you have to turn it in. Anyway, that's something else. So that's what point the thumb means, and there's a lot of accountability with it, and it's one of the few things in the world that has no downside to it. There's no downside to pointing the thumb and just decompressing first before you answer. I was in a situation yesterday where there was a discussion, and before I even finished my sentence, there was already a rebuttal coming at me. And I kind of just laughed to myself and said, that's a perfect example. If you had heard what I said, clearly you couldn't have heard what I said if you're already having a rebuttal before I've even finished the sentence. And that's what point the thumb means. Point the thumb means, before you come back at somebody or blame somebody or point the finger at somebody, you ask yourself, what did I contribute to it? Could I have done something different? Should I have said what I said? Could I have said it differently? And when you do that, what you'll find is it de-escalates the situation. It doesn't mean you're to blame. There still might be blame to be placed elsewhere, but it will de-escalate the situation because you're asking yourself, well, maybe I added fuel to the fire by snapping off the way I did, or responding with that kind of tone, or by ignoring the situation, whatever it might be. So to you new folks that are following me, that's what point the thumb means. The other thing that point the thumb means to me, my other interpretation is, so many people play pretend out there. We put up this facade they want the world to believe, and in doing so, we're kind of phony. By pointing the thumb at yourself and saying, look, this is who I am, right? I whatever the case may be, and you point the thumb at own who you are, and people will respect you for owning it. When you sit there and deny, I'm not like that, I didn't do that, I didn't say that, and everybody sees it around you. The best illustration I can use of that is, I'm a big fan of the Dr. Phil show, and he has a guest on there, and 400 people in the studio audience, including the panel up on the knows that this person is whatever, an abuser, a raging alcoholic, a drug abuser, whatever it might be, but they want to pretend to the world that they've got it all under control, and they're not that person, and the only one they're lying to is themselves. So my point is, when you point the thumb at yourself and own who you are, you got a better head start with getting, just being a better person and getting people to respect you and like you better. So anyway, on that note, I'm going to be heading into St. Louis today. I'm hoping to head up towards Ferguson and meet some folks. I hope you guys have enjoyed the videos, and as I've tried to, again, not just sit here and be sermony or preachy. I share with you why I think the way I do. I've shared with you some great stories of people I've met, and they're the story. The story's not about me at all. The story's about the people I'm meeting along the way. The Jims, the Papa Joes, the Kelly and Scotts, the Scott, the Todd Ivies, the Chris and Melissas, the Margie Jacobs, the Max and Gary and Lisa Miller. It goes on and on and on. The people I've met, the Chris Sheffield from way back in PA, the Basil Crapston, my very first day one, Tom Lane. I can go on and on about the people and the stories, and the book is going to be amazing. Anyway, guys, thanks for following. Like I said, there's not a lot to talk about from yesterday. Today I'm going to be heading to St. Louis, and then I kind of announced my itinerary yesterday as to where I'm going to be heading down. From basically what I could tell is I'm heading out Route 44. That's going to take me down to about Oklahoma City. From there I'm going to take Route 40 across. Looks like I'm going to go through the mountains of Flagstaff, Arizona, which I'm not sure of the cold and what I've packed with me. And I'm going to come out to Southern California. I've put it out there to you guys. A lot of folks have said they'd like to see me finish at the Santa Monica Pier versus Lombard Street in San Francisco. I actually don't have any problem with that. Of course, the romantic in me says, well, maybe I can rent a car and drive up the coast and see San Fran that way. But I'd only do that if somehow my kids were with me, and I'm not even sure how I can rent a car right now. But anyway, so we might be in the Santa Monica Pier. I'm going to ask for your guys' feedback on that. I got to give a special shout out to Jamie, who drove out from Pennsylvania to Chicago to spend a couple of days with me and talk. And those of you who don't know, Jamie was one of the probably 2 or 3 people that really made me lose who I was and get out here. But all things over time kind of heal themselves, and it's been great, and it's great to see a familiar face. So anyway, so that's a little bit about today. As I get new followers, there's 2 things. One is a random thought. I share goofy random thoughts all the time. So there's a guy, I'm going to say his name wrong. He was the lead singer of a group called Fun. Name is either Nate Royce or Nate Reese. I think he pronounced it Royce. I thought he was going solo at one point, but his voice is the best voice in music right now. And it's triggered me because, again, how my mind works. Freddie Mercury to me was the greatest singer of all time. And I know he's got a movie coming out, or the movie about Queen is coming out here in October, I think it is. But I remember watching an iHeart Video concert where Adam Lambert came out and sang a song with the remaining members of Queen, and so did Nate Royce or Reese. And while Adam Lambert was great, Nate just killed it. And I don't know if anybody knows anything about what he's up to these days, because I haven't heard anything in a long time, and I'd love to find out. And then secondly, nobody has ever gotten me an answer to this, and I've talked about it several times. I'm going to keep talking about it because I get new followers all the time. So in Indiana, I wanted to give my daughter a moment to share with a mom. And I got up early in the morning, and I went and I waited online at the Indiana, I don't know if it was Bankers Trust Arena, whatever. I got there online about 4 hours early. The tickets for her concert was Taylor Swift, this is. Tickets for her concert were supposed to go on sale an hour before they were made available, like the Ticketmaster and stuff like that. The windows opened at 9 o'clock, 5 windows opened, I was third in line. I went up there, I bought 2 tickets by 9:15 on 9 o'clock and 15 seconds. So within 15 seconds, I had bought tickets for my daughter and her mom. Well, they go to the show, and I'm thinking these guys are going to be third row, first row, fifth row, 30th row, I don't know. They were second row from the top. Second row from the top. Repeat that. 15 seconds into the tickets going on sale, there was second row from the top of the arena. So I'm still asking for an explanation to help me understand, because I'd like to let you guys understand. Back in the day, we used to get up early and go camp out for tickets. They'd give us bracelets. But a kid, if he wanted to really see somebody, was passionate, they can get a 5th row seat, a 4th row seat. They can get seats for their musical heroes or idols. Well, I don't understand. I understand that maybe they give tickets away to fan club members or radio stations, but how is it you buy a ticket 15 seconds into going on sale for Taylor Swift, and my kid and my daughter and her mom, not my kids, but my daughter and her mom are the second row from the top? How does music work these days? Like, how do these musicians and I guess not them, but how do the venues and the tickets work? I just want someone to kind of educate me if they can. So if someone could reach out, to if anyone knows or has any contacts with the music industry, help me understand how a working class stiff like myself can go ahead and get tickets for my family to have, reasonably decent seats, because I couldn't have done anything more that day. I got up 4 hours early, I got a parking ticket, I was buying tickets, there was 15 seconds into the moment they went on sale, and it wasn't just me, because the people we were all online with, they all knew me, talked to my Heather and my daughter, about all the conversations we had for 4 hours that day. So they were all right next to us in that same row. So again, I don't have an answer for that. Someone, if they could explain that to me, I appreciate it. I'm going to crank up some Phil Vassar today, Just Another Day in Paradise. Please, you can all do the same for me. Put a couple songs out there for you yesterday to look into. Anyway, love you guys. And be quick. Grace, Kira, Landon, I love you guys. Keep having fun with Mom this week. Excited to get back home to y'all. I got a lot of things I have to do, just so you know. Shirts, I got to get some shirts to people. I apologize for the delay. I've got to reach out to some associations and see if I can figure out a way to get through the desert unscathed without having to walk and sleep in a desert for 4 days and have nobody pass me. My 2 thoughts with that were maybe somebody from the association wants to take me on a tour, because I've been told there's 60 miles between gas stations, and again, my journey is about meeting people, not about walking 20 miles and passing out in the desert. Or maybe there's some RV groups that are going by, and maybe somebody wants to sit down roadside, camp out with me, and let me get to know them as part of the story in the book. They're heading out to the west, either to go camping at any of the national forests we have out there. So anyway, guys, that's about it. Love you all. Thanks for following, and I'll keep you updated as we go. Bye-bye now.